Hey guys, this episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. I don't know if you know this, but DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Notre Dame is declining a bowl invitation after being left out of the playoffs.
I don't like it. If you don't get it your way, you just take your ball and go home.
You cannot be an independent, control your own schedule, and then pout when you don't get in.
We're Notre Dame, so we just belong in the playoffs. Forget who we played or who we lost to. We'll just be digging our heels down in the sand, canceling our Christmas travel plans, taking our ball with us and going home to prove a point to the committee, cause we couldn't beat the good teams that we played. I think we'll just opt out. The only option here is be whiny clowns. I think we'll just opt out. There's nothing else to do but just sit and pout. I think we'll just opt out. We gotta bitch and moan cause they left us out. I think we'll just opt out. We're petty baby boys and we're crashing out.
I did not expect to be as excited about the way things played out with the Miami Hurricanes yesterday as I was. Like I don't lose sleep over the Hurricanes, all right? I don't lose sleep over college sports. It's kids, it's student athletes,
right.
you know? Like I don't let it make me angry. And I was on the plane yesterday getting back from the SEC championship game, and I got the selection show on my phone. So now when we arrive at Miami Airport, I'm walking through the airport, watching on my phone. And once they got to Alabama at number 9, it said Alabama, like, oh, Canes got a shot now. Because if it said Alabama at 9, Canes are screwed. And then
if it said Notre Dame at 9.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said Alabama.
If it said Notre Dame and I'm like, oh, Canes are screwed. But if it says Alabama, got a chance.
Would have held out hope. The Canes had passed Alabama in the AP vote. And, I mean, that performance was really bad. And if you were leaning on history, hell, if you were leaning on that show, teams that lost a conference championship slid. And they lost their conference championship the worst.
It's 1 year history, though.
No. In every year of the CFP. You lose that game. There was a reigning national champion Georgia team that ended up beating Florida State by 70 that lost its SEC championship game that didn't have a chance to defend its title.
I don't think it's comparable to compare a 4-team and a 12-team. It's such different circumstances.
But in the expanded playoff, everybody slides. And for that team to be the one lone outlier that didn't slide, it makes it kind of strange. And it was maybe a little tip of the hand when they climbed inexplicably over Notre Dame. We did mention that maybe they're guarding against them losing in the SEC title game by them putting Alabama over Notre Dame when Notre Dame was pretty dominant against Stanford. And Alabama had a bad game, a game in which they almost blew a 17-point lead to 5-7 Auburn, a team that's not very good. But the committee raised them, and they gave all sorts of weird logic for it. But you're right. Once Alabama flashed up on that graphic, I was like, okay, well, I'm prepared for this one. This is the fight that we've been fighting for a month.
Question. If Duke does not win the ACC championship, because once Duke won the ACC championship, like, all right, I thought there was a chance. I thought there was a good chance the Canes were going to get screwed because Alabama's going to bump down, and that's going to keep that stupid buffer that they've been lying to us about for the past month in between Notre Dame and Miami. But because Duke won the ACC championship, is the committee going to say, we can't not have an ACC team in? So you know what? Miami, you're in. Like, do you think that did that actually help the Canes?
I mean, I'm curious because of all the things you said, the one thing you said that was correct is that Notre Dame has a right to feel duped. And the reason why is because every show, I mean, Mike's anger week by week is based on the one thing where it's like they're ignoring it. And then at the last minute, like, oh, that's right, Mike's right.
Mm-hmm.
but nothing changed between those two teams. They were idle.
Nothing.
So I'm wondering how they're going to explain that to the world.
I
want
to chew on that for a second, but briefly, let me get back to the original point.
About Duke.
Hunter Yurachek made it very clear to the point that it was pretty convincing that the Duke-Virginia game had zero impact on this Miami-Notre Dame decision. And I'm with you. I kind of feel like it's hard to turn to the Big 12 and the ACC and say 2 group of 5s get in and only one of your little conglomerate get in. I'm with you. When I was laying my head down to go to sleep on Saturday night, I was like, I guess I want Duke to win because it's a little extra, but the CFP has been consistent and stronger than anything else that when saying the Duke victory had nothing to do with this.
Don't forget what was also working against Miami was the night before, Friday night, Boise won the Mountain West. And that helped Notre Dame's case because it strengthened their schedule. A team that they crushed just won their conference.
My question is, if Virginia would have won, would that have forced the committee to have some sort of conversation about Virginia or no?
No, Virginia would have
been
in.
They'd have been in.
Virginia would have
James
gotten
Madison
in automatically. But I want to talk about what Amin referenced, which was it did seem like Notre Dame got caught with their pants down here. And I know what their AD is saying right now. Their AD is taking it out on the ACC, not a fan of how the ACC have taken to their social channels. Remember, Jim Phillips kind of stayed out of this, and he just answered, yeah, Miami deserves to be in, not really taking shots at Notre Dame.
I think there's been a very arrogant response from Notre Dame.
Oh,
very
arrogant.
It's
arrogant.
Absolutely.
It's arrogant for sure, but it also reminds me of, like, we've all been there where you're dating a significant other. It's like, what do you want for your birthday? I don't want anything. It's okay. I don't want anything. You don't have to do anything big. And so you don't do anything big. It's like, I thought you cared. Like, wait a second. I thought we were on the same page.
You told me you didn't want anything.
You told me you didn't want anything, and now all of a sudden I'm wrong.
So to tell the audience, Pete Pavakwa, the Notre Dame AD, went on Dan Patrick's show, and he said the ACC did, quote, permanent damage to its relationship with Notre Dame for all the anti-Irish playoff politicking the conference publicly leaned into in this lead up to the selection show. Again, you approach this with an arrogance, thinking that head-to-head ultimately wasn't going to matter. I think he also knows that this is deflection, right? He's an administrator, and a lot of Notre Dame fans are upset that he wasn't out there publicly campaigning more, getting out in front of this. Notice he's turned his ire to the ACC, who he has some sort of brilliant partnership with, where he gets all the benefit of the relationship, doesn't have to share any of the revenue with them.
They don't give them any money, right?
No. So, we're shocked that the ACC is backing one of the teams that it actually has to share revenue with, rather than a team that has the sweetest deal in all of the sport, that if they make the playoff, none of their success is the ACC's. When Notre Dame is considered for these pools, even though they basically play an ACC-light schedule, they're not part of the ACC narrative. The ACC is a joke. They don't get to claim any of Notre Dame's success while they beat up on their teams, and as of the selection show, apparently beating them doesn't benefit you either.
And Rich coming from a team and a school that's like, hey, my mommy has a note that says that I get to go to your field trip next year. Like, if you got to do it, like my mom said, it's okay. It's
okay,
like, come on, give me a break.
Can somebody explain this to me like I'm a 4-year-old?
Yeah.
What that report is? Because A, I don't understand what it means, and B, why is this just coming out now?
All right. So this is what Bavakwa told Yahoo Sports. In a part of a memorandum of understanding signed by CFP officials last spring, Notre Dame will be assured of making the playoff if it is ranked in the top 12 starting next year.
Why?
That's the deal they struck.
This is based off of the fact that when it was initially expanded, Notre Dame became
like a year ago, 2 years ago,
right? When they expanded it, their AD at the time, or their former AD Jack Swarbrick, was part of this. But ultimately, what ended up happening, right, is you have these 5 automatic qualifiers that are all the top 5 conference champions. As an independent team, Notre Dame cannot automatically qualify, and in turn, their only option is to be an at-large team. So this memorandum that they ultimately signed was, if you're ranked in the top 12, you're going to turn into an automatic bid. Because
why are we just learning this now and not 2 years ago?
I think
it was signed last year.
Yeah, I think it was out there last year, and this was a helpful reminder. Ross Dellinger brought it back up to people's attention.
So this is a real thing that's going to be a thing next year.
I also think it was in part of a correction that the committee had, in which Notre Dame was not eligible for a bye, no matter how good their season was.
They changed it after 1 year.
They changed it after 1 year, and this might have been lumped in on that. I mean, there are ways to guardrail against that if it comes down to Notre Dame in that 12 seed. the committee can also get out in front of this and have Miami in front of Notre Dame earlier, like they should have.
Right.
Again, the ridiculous part here is that they set up Notre Dame for this okie doke, and Notre Dame came with this arrogance saying that it couldn't happen to them, and they believed this BS when at the end of the day, they were going to be close on metrics, and Miami has the chief tiebreaker that is applied to all the competitive sports. For them to not think that this could happen to them shows a great arrogance on their part. And you can also tell by some of these comments is Pete's not going after the actual power. The AD is not invoking the SEC whatsoever. He's going after his flat track ACC partners, which I also think is in bad faith.
Why?
The ACC helped you out in 2020. Bad leadership by Jim Phillips and company to just let them in the ACC and have an ACC schedule the entire time. Remember, the Big Ten, Ohio State made the CFP going 5-0 that year. All right? Like, the ACC had Notre Dame over a barrel. They were helpful to one another. And for them to get nothing but this BS from Notre Dame, go ahead, explore other opportunities. Do it for other conferences, because I don't need Notre Dame in my conference. I really don't. I don't need any of this nonsense. I would love to share in the revenue. I would love you to be a full-fledged member. But if you're going to have your cake and eat it too and not share in any of the spoils, and we barely get credit for when we beat you, find somebody else. Enjoy the Mountain West, pal.
It was an incredible amount of hubris leading up to Sunday.
Hubris Davis.
You put the tweets out there. Hey, Kane, Alabama, you guys go argue with each other. Okay.
Was that them? Did they tweet that? I thought it was just
No, they didn't. No, like the fans were like, all right, this is now that Alabama's been blown out, this is not a Miami Notre Dame thing. Miami had the better argument against both schools. I feel for you. I understand. You feel duped. You feel duped, but that's on you. You should have been sounding the alarm bells that, hey, there is potential here for the obvious to happen. Miami had a common opponent against Alabama. They lost FSU. Miami beat them. Now, what Alabama had over everybody else was
Kate should have been ahead of Alabama, too.
Strength of schedule. Notre Dame was right there. They lost a head-to-head with Miami, and they didn't have the common opponent deal that Miami had over Alabama. If you had any foresight, like we've been telling you for weeks and weeks and weeks, this was going to potentially happen. They should have been more prepared.
The reality is if this college football playoff committee was to be any level of consistent, both Notre Dame and Miami would be in. Because BYU is a team that went to their conference championship, got blown out, and in turn dropped out of the playoff conversation.
They were already out if they didn't win the conference championship.
But
I think
why
that's an important
shouldn't
point.
Alabama be? Right? Because Alabama was a team that was right there, and they got absolutely dominated in their conference championship game, which led to a third loss, by the way, negating one of their best wins, right? Where BYU just lost to a team you already knew they weren't as good as, and they got blown out and they got knocked out. At least to maintain a level of consistency, you could say easily, Notre Dame and Miami, you're better than these two teams. We just saw them go head-to-head with playoff teams. They got dominated. They're out. That was a de facto playoff game for both. But there's no level of consistency.
You're right.
You're hand-picking when you want to use the conference championship game as something that matters or not.
She said she didn't want anything.
I don't get it. But I do think that you brought up some good points, Zaz, where I think you were going as it pertains to BYU is I hear all the arguments, and you could have argued maybe they should have been included in the field that was in. But it was out there for BYU. They knew the stakes. They were outside looking in.
Right.
When
Even
that
if they
game was
remain
play.
the same, they're still out.
Yeah, so they knew that they had to win that game to get in.
Yep.
Because it was an automatic qualifier, and they knew the deal going into it.
Like, you're mad that Alabama didn't move, and so they still get in. Even if BYU didn't move, they still don't get in. So, I mean, does it make sense that one moved and the other one didn't? No. But even if BYU was treated the way Alabama was, they still don't get in.
It's fair enough. It's just more like I think maybe the setup and the conceit from there maybe should have been that BYU would have been ahead of the two teams that are not making a conference championship. But that is something to argue on the back end, right? You're right. The way it was set up, they needed a win to get in, and they knew the stakes of that going in. It just makes no sense to have teams that go to a championship. Like, BYU does drop in the ranking one way or another. Like, we see one team drop, we see another team that doesn't, and that's where Notre Dame has to be absolutely furious, and BYU has to have a gripe maybe not as strong as Notre Dame's.
The biggest, there's going to be changes one way or another. I don't know what they're going to be. I would start with, we don't need to have this show. And I know it's part of a contract.
Brother.
I know it's part of a contract and it gets the ratings. I get it. But we don't need the show. We really don't, because all these rankings leading up to the only ranking that clearly matters, being yesterday, it literally didn't mean anything.
Well, it did more than not mean anything. It misled.
Yep.
Yes.
It misled.
Yes.
And that's the problem. I don't think the answer is to not have the show. The answer is have the show be done well. Like, have them do what they should have been doing the whole time, as opposed to, in irony, making us have a better show by just having Mike mad every goddamn week.
Kirk Herbstreit echoed this point. It's like that Tuesday show seems so stupid, because I can understand a fan for Notre Dame being like, how the hell what happened over the weekend? If this was a Miami Notre Dame thing the entire time, why didn't you? They actually said the opposite. They told us that Miami and Notre Dame were never in direct comparison. Now, the last few days, they opened the door to that, which I guess Notre Dame should have prepared for that more.
Why the last few days?
And that's support. Miami had to get right. I wasn't arguing that they should have been ranked ahead of Notre Dame after they lost to SMU, because Miami was what felt like in the middle of a spiral, turned out to be a hiccup. But once Miami proved that they could right the ship, the F we doing, which has been, much to the listeners' dismay, been my complaint the entire time.
I'm watching a clip of him on the Dan Patrick Show, the Bakwa. His background is like the bleachers, but they've been folded up, and so you could see the numbers. Corny. You don't deserve to be in a playoff. You know what? No one wants you in the bowl game. Get out of here.
Now,
bum.
Can we move the conversation forward a little bit? And what I mean by that is the Canes. No. The Canes are playing one of the teams that Notre Dame lost to. All right. So we can't have this whole to-do leading up to it, and the Canes get the spot over Notre Dame, and then the Canes go to College Station and lay a massive egg. All right. Like, now you need to go there and take care of that business. All right. Come on now. You can't go out there and let everybody give you an I told you so. You didn't belong. Notre Dame belongs.
To speak to the ego of Notre Dame fans, there were people unironically posting the tile of the matchup, Miami versus Texas A&M, and all of them quote tweeting, Notre Dame beats both these teams. Notre Dame had the opportunity to play against both these teams. Notre Dame went 0-2 against these teams.
So good.
That's how they've arrogantly approached the last few weeks, is that they don't understand that concept. But in terms of an opponent, this is now a 3.5-point line. The market corrected it. Home field advantage in that sport for a stadium like
Looking
Caulfield.
like 4 right now. Looking like 4.
It's about 3.5 in that sport.
Looking
so this
like 4.
is essentially a coin flip game in the eyes of the odds makers, and I can't wait to watch it. I went to Caulfield 4 years ago. Mario Cristobal, year 1.
Intimidating?
Yeah, I will say that's like the best atmosphere I've ever been at for a game in terms of intimidation, and you feel the stadium rocking. You feel all 100,000 people.
Do you feel like it's a good matchup for the Canes? Because this is a Texas A&M team that even going into that Texas game, we were looking at their schedule like, wow, they're really only playing the bottom half SEC teams. And then they played one of the better ones in Texas. They got their ass kicked.
The defenses looked a little leaky here recently. South Carolina's not a good team. They went up 30 at Kyle Field, the aforementioned. They're a line of scrimmage team, so they play into some of Miami's strengths. I think Miami's playing their best ball.
All right.
And I don't think Texas A&M is helping their cause, because I got about a 24-hour expiration date on being happy to be here before we turn our attention to Texas A&M. And they've already been out there talking. You have an old lineman saying, we don't have to worry about Reuben Bain.
That's some quote.
He's not a player that we have to worry about.
No.
He was asked about, how are you going to stop Reuben Bain? He's going to be one of the top picks to have. Like, a guy like Chuckle is like, we're not worried about him.
Yeah, Mike Elko, head coach Mike Elko said that little freshman slot that they have there is a nice player. Okay, all right. We'll find out together.
Mike, now remind me, is Texas A&M the school with the guy who talks like this?
Yeah, no, we have to. I think Chris Cody and I have to run it back.
Yeah.
4 years later. Hello, old friend.
Wow.
And by the way, look, I don't want to get ahead of myself, okay? But the winner of Miami, Texas A&M, you know who they play?
Who?
Ohio State.
Whoa.
Zaz, you want to get
It's
revenge
lining up
tour?
very
Have you
nicely.
seen what this revenge tour could be?
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
All right. If Miami goes to Kyle Field and does something that they couldn't do 4 years ago, which is beat Texas A&M there. Remember, Miami did trounce Texas A&M the following year as one of Tyler Van Dyke's better games. But if they beat Texas A&M, as you mentioned, they go to the Cotton Bowl against Ohio State. So we'll have all those Fiesta Bowl highlights, and that's revenge that has been on Miami's hearts and minds. Every supporter of the Miami Hurricanes has been wanting to see that matchup. If they get past Ohio State, speaking of the Fiesta Bowl, they exercise those demons, and it could potentially be Carson Beck against the Georgia Bulldogs. And then there is a way that this bracket shakes out, that if Miami were to somehow go through that murderer's row, because there isn't a tougher path for a team to get to the final than the Miami Hurricanes, but if they do, it's in their home stadium.
That's right.
In Miami Gardens. Wow. And potentially they could be taking on the Oregon Ducks.
Wow.
Mario Cristobal's old school.
There is quite the revenge tour path here.
I was going to say quite possibly they could be taking on James Madison.
No one believes
Hell
that.
yeah, they can.
Dude, when you were watching that James Madison game, where you're like, I probably shouldn't have come out.
That defense in the second half really strong against Troy. I'm just excited there's 2 Group of 5 teams in this playoff. How about that?
Put it on the poll. If your conference championship is among 2 teams named after a guy, you shouldn't be in the CFP.
We're all very excited. But you know what? A lot of other things happened over the weekend. There was a lot going on. Amin, let's do some weekend observations.
Transition.
It is time for to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy.
Weekend Observations is presented by Miller Lite. Zaz!
Yeah.
After a couple-week absence, including the internet connection fiasco of last week, which for some reason seemed to really grip both the audience and the show. It's a bad internet connection. You guys act like it's the first time it's ever happened. Guess what? I'm back. I woke up this morning half expecting the Chiefs miraculously pulled it off somehow. Death of a dynasty. Will Taylor Swift write a song about Kansas City's failed relationship with success? Mahomes, 14-33 and 3 interceptions. Someone check on Nick Wright. Thank God the CFP is set and Miami made it, so we can finally shut the fuck up about it. Notre Dame, grow up. Someone check on Spetty. How about them Finns? Gutsy, relentless, proving Greg Cody right. Don't bend the knee. Someone check on Greg Cody, by the way. Desmond Bain was the second most accurate quarterback in New York yesterday. He hit Anunoby right between the numbers. You not see this?
I did, but like, what's his deal?
You know what my favorite part was? He beans him, and then he turns around and he goes, our ball. he points, and then surprised Anunoby's pissed off, like, what's up? Like,
but it's not even like he was, like, you could have just taken the ball and started a fast break.
No, I don't know. I don't know what that was
it's
about.
It's the second time he's done that this year.
Yeah. The things you learn about a guy when he gets out of Memphis. The NFL always has the most unbelievable injury reports. It'd be like, player X, lobotomy, upgraded to questionable. Who the is Riley Leonard? Good to see Mike Tomlin and the Steelers make it out of Baltimore alive.
You don't know who Riley Leonard is?
No. Who that?
Former Irish.
I don't know that.
He's a Notre Dame QB.
He made it to the national title game. He played very well for the Irish.
I don't watch college football like that. What's college football? Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Steelers who?
Pittsburgh Steelers made it out of Baltimore alive. I'm not very good at knock, knock jokes. Don't look now, but here come the Celtics.
Playing well. Jaylen Brown. Get out of here. My God.
Dan legitimately wondered if the FIFA World Cup draw would have as many viewers as Cowboys-Lions. 1 billion people tuned in worldwide to the World Cup draw. But yeah, I'm sure it fell a little south of Thursday Night Football. Is he serious?
It was a big game on Thursday Night Football.
I felt this. He wasn't doing show. He was sincere. It's like, do you think as many people that watched Cowboys-Lions watch the World Cup draw? Like, Dan, are you?
Do we have an actual number on the World Cup draw?
It's 1 billion. It's north of 1 billion.
What is that like in share in TV like
all
parlance?
Of it.
1 billion.
Of all the TVs?
All of it.
I think that's a 10% share.
Globally. The Cardinals defense gave up 530 total yards to the Rams. At one point, I think Eric Dickerson rushed for a gain. Guys, I think FIFA might be rigged. I got tickets. Thanks to Mike, put me on. My tickets turned out to be for Group B, which is Canada, Qatar, and Switzerland.
Ooh.
Now it's personal. You bastards. I got nothing. How do you get in an elevator, press L for lobby, and then walk right out when it stops at 15 and, like, not notice? These people do this all the time. I'm like, you thought this was the lobby? You're that into your phone that you didn't hear the thing yell out 15.
Like, can't you feel that you only went down one floor?
Every day. In this building especially. I can't believe Dan let Miro refer to Jeter as Jeets. I try to jump in. I'm like, what? We gonna do this? Everyone just listen quietly to the story. Frauds. News came out that Chris Paul and Ty Lue hadn't talked in weeks. Weeks! You know how miserable of an ass got to be for T. Lue to be avoided? Like, this is not a guy who's like, oh, conflict. Here's an idea for Vince Gilligan. Pluribus but cast Chris Paul. The world population will be decimated midway through episode 2. You guys remember when I pitched Vince Gilligan the idea of a Gilligan's Island reboot? And he liked it. That made Dan mad. Those were the days.
Simpler times.
He was so upset. Who the f*** is Brady Cook? Kevin Stefanski. Get that resume ready, buddy. You see this?
Yeah, what was that play?
That's the old, like, oh, you're not the best guy. I'm the guy who makes the wins happen.
Like, Shedeur, by all accounts, was pretty good yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, how about let him throw the ball on that play, too?
Yeah. What? Like, why Galaxy Brain this one?
It's tough to defend.
Pete Carroll? Mark Stein reporting that the Bucks are not entertaining Giannis trade offers. Yeah, right. Mark Stein reporting the Heat would have to give up Kel'el Ware in a Giannis trade.
Okay.
What, Tyler Hero and a box of Cracker Jacks wasn't enough? Cracker Jacks. 20 CB. Steve Kerr on benching Jonathan Kuminga in the 4th. Quote, it happens to everyone in the league except for the stars. Unquote. Ouch. He said you're a bum. LeBron James.
What do you say?
Turn back the clock performance. Who the f*** is Brandon Carlson? Trick question. He plays for the Thunder. I think.
What, guy 18 on the bench?
I think so. Here's the science, a bar rescue podcast. We teamed up, restaurant and bar consultant Chelsea Reynolds and commercial kitchen and food truck veteran Colin Cassard with 2 world-class bar patrons, that's Zach Harper and myself, to analyze and review episodes of Bar Rescue.
I love how you
Really?
I love the attributes you
Yeah, say that again for people that didn't catch
put
it.
for you and Zach.
Well, restaurant and bar consultant Chelsea Reynolds, commercial kitchen and food truck veteran Colin Cassard,
Actual bona fides right there.
and 2 world-class bar patrons, Zach Harper.
Oh, bar patrons.
You're world class.
Gotcha.
Actually, play on for me. You are. You're an expert when it comes to bars.
I'm a patron. I do it every Tuesday wherever you get podcasts. I'm going to run this one back since I didn't get to do it live last week. To the couple in the aisle seats at the end of the row at Nuggets Suns. You can't sit in the aisle seats and be annoyed that people in the row might get up and go to the bathroom or get concessions or whatever. Similarly, you can't be annoyed when said people in the row who got up to go to the bathroom or get concessions or whatever return from that journey. You especially can't be annoyed when this happens during halftime.
Oh, come on. Like, I thought they were getting annoyed when it was during play.
No
way.
Got up to go. And then,
Come on.
And then at the end of halftime, after having done this deed, come back. Like, what did you think? I was going forever?
That's crazy.
Also, stand up when people walk through. You don't want to catch an errant hog to the face. Keep it kosher.
Wait, so when you walk past, you front face them?
Absolutely.
What?
If you don't get up,
That's crazy.
If you don't get up, you're getting hog.
You front face as you're scooting past?
If you refuse to get up when someone is walking through the aisle, I have the freedom to point my hog in any direction.
That's wild. That's wild.
You know what's wild? Not standing up.
I agree, but
You know what's wild? Not standing up and acting annoyed.
Front face while you scoot past, that's wild.
Juju, put it on the poll. Is it okay to front face while you pass someone in an aisle? OKC, Sat SGA, Isaiah Hartenstein, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, and Isaiah Joe. That's a starting 5 caliber lineup right there. And they were still 11.5-point favorites going in.
Crazy.
They won by 30.
Yeah, but if the Knicks had some bench,
Yeah,
contender.
Jesus Christ. What the hell was he talking about? No, not yet.
23-1.
This week on Cinephobe, episode 292, Collateral Damage. A movie that Roy let me know was supposed to come out on 9/11 and then got pushed. Found out later that not only was it delayed, they had to edit it, including a scene where Sofia Vergara plays a terrorist who hijacks a plane.
Same thing happened at 24. It was supposed to debut that month. They had to push it back.
Yeah. And an ad with Arnold Schwarzenegger's face with an explosion behind it and the tagline, "What would you do if you lost everything?" Ugh. Bad timing. Cinephobe, wherever you get podcasts. Shout out to Santos, who was at MMA Hangout the other night, Saturday night. Cinephobe fan. Will Hardy telling his team during a timeout that the music ran out. Oh, there it is. Will Hardy telling his team during a timeout, quote, I'm tired of doing this every game. I feel you, bro. We're all trapped in our own personal hells. His just comes with millions of dollars. Speaking of hell, Art Briles. Those are the weekend observations.
Good job, Amin. So I caught a bunch of the World Cup draw on Friday.
You know about the Caraca?
Yeah. And then like I put the channel back on like 2 hours later, and they weren't even close to done.
It was an embarrassment. We knew that show can go long, but the programming. I mean,
well, you didn't like the FIFA Peace Prize? Who won, by the way?
I didn't like that. I didn't like the audible that they called to have the world leaders come out and pull their own countries just for the photo op. It was a Johnny Infantino show.
And like Buddy led the crowd in chants.
I wasn't a fan of the Rio Ferdinand comedy sketches. Just
what was that?
2 hours into it, everybody was like, just pick the damn team.
What was that?
I don't know.
What, like, whose idea was that?
I don't know. I didn't stick around. I honestly left. I'm a soccer fan. I was looking forward to this whole thing. And once we got about 70 minutes into it, and I was already shown Donald Trump and Johnny Infantino multiple times when I don't want to see them at all. I was like, all right, I'll just Google it afterwards. But hey, the United States got a good draw.
Did they get a good draw?
All the host countries got really nice draws.
Funny how that works, but yeah, like this was probably the best case scenario. You have Panama, which will be the United States' first match. They have Australia, a team that they should beat. Now, Turkey has beaten the United States recently. Odds-on favorite for them to come out of that playoff. We will wait to see who does. Turkey can probably give the United States some problems, but the United States is a host nation that does give teams some boost, and it lays out quite nicely here, setting up potentially a rematch against Belgium in the World Cup. Again, not the same type of talented Belgium side. So if you're a United States fan or just a casual observer that wants to root on Old Glory, it lays out quite nicely for you. And if you want tickets, and or maybe you're just stuck with Canada, Qatar.
I'm so upset. I was because I'm watching this poll, and I'm like, okay, it's cool. All right, and then I'm like, you got to give me something here. And the third one came out. I'm like, my only hope is, I guess, if Italy wins.
Well, maybe you can upload those tickets on Game Time.
There you go.
Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying soccer tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Go. Download the Game Time app today.
Now, guys, I'm surprised that Chris Paul didn't pull the ultimate move when he was asked to fly home. I don't know have you guys ever heard this story about Ty Lawson? When Ty Lawson was towards the end of his time in Denver, they reached a point where he was inactive, but they would go on the trip. You go on the trip and just enjoy whatever city. So the Nuggets allegedly created a new rule. If you're not on the active roster, you can't go on the trip. But they did it right before they were going to go to play, I think, the Lakers. And obviously, in the NBA, the LA trip is like, that's goal. Like, you're setting excursions up months in advance.
Especially because you usually stop for the Lakers and Clippers. So
right.
You get a lot of time.
It's a long break.
You're sending the advanced scouts out there to make sure things are kosher when you get there?
We have a programming done ahead of time. And so to be told right before that trip, oh, you ain't going. Ty Lawson allegedly was so upset. He booked his own flight, then bought tickets to Nuggets Lakers and sat courtside. And I was like, Chris Paul should have done that. He should have bought courtside tickets and sat there.
That would have been amazing.
And just heckled and second-guessed everything that the Clippers were doing.
Wasn't Ty Lue caught recently? There was some video footage that came out where he was talking trash about CP3
No,
after they released him.
That's the stuff that I'm really, really starting to get annoyed with the internet about. Is like, we're going to take things completely out of context. Like when the Lakers played the Mavericks about a week or so ago, and they're like, look, LeBron didn't even dap up Anthony Davis. It's like, he dapped him up literally right before that video was cut and clipped. And the bad part was it was propagated by ESPN LA. Like, you guys have to know better. Like, you can't just be sharing. like you guys were at the game. Why would that be something that you missed, but then you're just going to aggregate whatever's shared out there? But no, they were talking about a play, and I guess I want to say Chris Dunn couldn't remember something about the play, so Chris Paul was telling James Harden about that, and then Ty Lue was basically saying it doesn't matter what the play's called, because it was called CP or whatever. It doesn't matter what it's called.
Gotcha.
Just run this play like this, no matter who's on the floor. But again, it's cut and put out in the context like he's talking trash about Chris Paul, even though Chris Paul was right there.
Yeah.
This wasn't like after the fact.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was like from training camp, that video.
Oh.
I just love the idea of Chris Paul being at the game and like Chris Dunn bricks a shot and he's like, "Yo, Ty, I told you shouldn't get so many minutes." Like just yelling from courtside.
I got it even better than that. You're supposed to be in help. You're supposed to be like, what are you doing?
Oh, coaching them
oh my
from
God,
courtside.
You guys see the whole thing with Chris Haynes? He came out on Amazon Prime and he said Chris Paul tweeted the word leeway, or he Instagram storied the word leeway, the definition of the word leeway. And the reason for that is there was a game where
someone with Van Gundy, right?
Well, Chris Paul changed the coverage. He told Kawhi to switch or whatever, and Van Gundy afterwards said, "Don't ever do that." And he says to him, "You might have had the leeway to do that in other stops in your career. You do not have that leeway now," which is like, that's pretty cold.
Even though they're a terrible defensive team. But that's Van Gundy's thing. He's like the defensive guy there. I mean,
right? they were excellent last year because of Van Gundy, and I like ultimately the coaches. That's a coach's approach. It's like, hey, if I come up with a scheme and we execute the scheme and we're terrible, that's my fault. But if you guys start freestyling and ad-libbing and audibling, then we'll never know what works and what doesn't work. And so that staff, a lot of people came out very anti-Clipper. I'm like, you got Ty Lue, really good coach.
A pretty respected guy.
His associate head coach is Jeff Van Gundy, very respected guy, former head coach in this league. Then you got Larry Drew, former head coach in this league. Then you got Brian Shaw, former head coach in this league. Then you got Jay Larranaga, was a head coach on the collegiate level. It's like he doesn't have like a young, inexperienced staff that really needs a Chris Paul to be chiming in and second-guessing everything. They got a pretty good staff.
And the best player on the team is two-time Finals MVP.
So what's the issue? What's the issue with the Clippers?
Why are they bad?
Yeah.
Oh, because they've been hurt.
Oh, and they're old.
And they're old. Like, and the game passed them by. And their off season.
But
was
they
terrible.
were so good. They were so good last year to close the year out. It was like, okay, wait a second. The Clippers started to find
you know what? One of their best players plays for the Heat.
That's right.
Again, Norman Powell was the glue that kept the entire team together.
You know what's crazy? Flying into MIA, walking past that Miami Heat store and seeing Heat 24 jerseys. I'm like, what? At the airport?
Pow!
Well,
if we can get back to the NFL here. So yesterday, the Bengals and Bills played in a snowstorm. And for the life of me, because I turned away from the game for like a few minutes. I turned away from the game when, the Bengals went ahead 28-18, I think the score was. And there was like 9 minutes left in the game. And 5 minutes later, they were down 38-28. What the hell happened there?
Our Bryles.
Burrow threw one of the worst picks that I've ever seen anybody throw.
One of them was a pick six, right?
It was a pick six, but he tried to throw a screen pass to Jamar Chase that I don't know if he lost the ball. I don't know
It was
what
snowing.
happened.
It's pretty
It
cold.
was snowing, sure, yeah,
Pretty
but he had
cold.
thrown the dime that he threw to T. Higgins.
But he was good all game before that.
Yes, he was, right. That's what I'm saying. Like, it
and
was
the blizzard
snowing,
was in
but
the first half, by the way.
Right. So he throws like a shot put, like what we call in Spanish, un globito, which is a balloon. Un globito, he throws up, and Beneford just like goes up, picks it off, and runs it 55 yards to the house. But it was like such a bad pass, and I was like, who is that?
Zaz, you may not know this, but it's actually warmer while it's snowing. When it stops snowing, it starts getting really cold.
No, but it'll be harder to throw the ball when it is snowing, though,
It's harder when
right?
it's cold, man. My hands.
Yeah.
You can't feel your hands.
Yeah, I don't know about watching.
And then Josh Allen had like a 65-yard touchdown run, too.
Yeah, so the Bills, I guess, keep their playoff hopes alive because they're by no means a lock. I mean, and the Bengals take a major dip with their 9th loss of the season. They really need to win their final 4 games, win the division, only chance in. I mean, you saw the Steelers and the Ravens yesterday, an abomination of a game, but still, the Steelers, they wind up going back over 500 here. And then
Was that a catch, by the way? The Ravens game?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
2 feet, and then the ball gets taken out.
I don't think so.
I mean, the process, right? But I thought
Process
it was
a catch, but I thought he caught it.
thought it was a catch, but the NFL got more fascinating for me. That was an Alamo game, as it was described for the Chiefs. And can you believe? Let's just rewind 2 months ago.
How are the Texans winning games? That seems good.
Their defense has gotten
crazy.
better and better as the season
Their
progressed.
corners are the best tandem in the league.
I want to focus, we haven't, I know the University of Miami has really hijacked this show, but we're kind of largely ignoring what's happening with the pro team because we don't expect much. But here they are with the same exact record as the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, we're a couple of wins away from Greg Cody hitting his preseason prediction.
Yeah, but there's really no way into the playoffs. They're two back of the final playoff spot.
It's them. I know they've been getting fat off of bad teams. They're going to have to win some big games against better teams.
I think they'll win next week. Monday night in Pittsburgh. I mean, the weather could be rough. I don't know. I think they could win that game, but then the final 3 games, very rough.
And now Tampa needs that one, right?
Very rough.
That was a really
And New England's going to
disappointing
need the
result for them.
final game to hold off Denver for the top spot. Can the Dolphins outscore the Bengals in Sunday Night Football, which could be flexed out, but I don't believe they can because you saw the Dolphins quarterback yesterday, and he's horrific. So I think the Dolphins realistically have a chance at one more win this season.
For me, the headline from the NFL day was what's happened to the Kansas City Chiefs. Does that feel like a death blow to their chances? They've gone to 9 straight AFC Championship games. Are we seeing a changing of the guard, or at least the end of this incarnation of the Chiefs? But I want to turn my eyes over to the NFC. Green Bay is getting Watson back and Jaden Reed back at the same time. Josh Jacobs was incredible as that game went on. That was super impressive. And I've been a huge Jaden Reed guy. You have Watson making the big chunk plays down the field, looking super healthy now. But Jaden Reed is their go-to guy. He makes something out of nothing. And now that they have those 2 guys there, I'm feeling good about my preseason Packer ticket, Tony.
My thing is this. I looked to the other side of the ball in that game, and I was like, man, the Bears, they had this scrappiness about them. They were playing good defense. Caleb Williams felt like he had things going, getting together.
Such a bad throw.
And now I just look at terrible throw at the end of the game that obviously cost him the game. But I look at him, I'm like, is he just being propped up by a really good OC? The same way we're looking across at the lines now and being like, okay, they got good pieces.
I don't think that's fair because you're talking about being propped up by a really good OC. He's only in his 2nd year.
Yeah, okay, but you got to be good.
Yeah.
Early.
Especially
fast.
when you look at what's happened to Lions since said OC left, right?
Right, like they have great players, which is why things work. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, but Goff is not the same Goff that he was last year.
But why does Caleb Williams need to be a finished product in year 2?
Because everybody needs to be a finished product immediately. That's the issue. Now we look at.
Are you new here?
Now we look at Jaden Daniels, and you're like, okay, now a season lost to injury and a season lost to a lot of injuries across the team. But it's like he's got to be great next year, or else is he done? Like C.J. Stroud, great year 1, and now we're questioning him too. Caleb's never really put it together. They bring in Ben Johnson. Now he's got this team playing well, but now you play again a team against that they have a rivalry with in the division, and they do that, and it's like, ugh.
Jaden Daniels is who my weekend observation about injury reports is about. He comes missed 3 games, dislocated elbow. I'm like, doesn't sound like you should be playing football, bro. You had a dislocated elbow?
How about the one on MMA and UFC?
Oh, man.
Alexander Pantoja. Did you see that, Zaz?
Nah.
You see the exploded elbow?
Nah.
Oof.
No, even I know about that. Everybody's talking about that. Even Shane Gillis.
Nah, man, you'll know about that.
The exploded elbow was brutal. Went to catch himself. You remember when Rondo went to catch himself in the playoffs a couple years ago and his elbow bent backwards? Imagine that, but like a.
I remember Wade got blamed.
And then the Heat took that ass.
It's the holiday season, and it is the 50th anniversary of Miller Lite, which means a lot of my favorite memories start the same way. I bring out a cornucopia of beautiful white Miller Lite cans, and I spread that holiday cheer. Miller Lite, holiday season. You crack open a Miller Lite, you look around, you look at your friends, you look at your family. You take that first sip, and you know you made the right call. Miller Lite just fits. It's taste that you know you can depend on. Brewed for flavor with simple ingredients like malted barley, rich balanced toffee notes, and that iconic golden color. Almost festive in a way. And at 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces, it lets you enjoy the season without weighing you down. The original light beer since 1975 and still hitting different 50 years later. The best holiday beers are the ones you don't expect. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. 'tis Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories at 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Against the spread. It's presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Tony, go ahead.
I'm going to take Monday Night Football tonight. LA Chargers plus 2.5-point dogs at home against a banged-up Eagles team. No Jalen Carter up the middle tonight. That means a lot of possibilities for Omarion Hampton, who's making his season comeback right now. I know Herbert got his hand hurt, but I think they're going to be able to run the ball enough with Omarion Hampton and Kamani Vidal. So give me the LA Chargers plus 2.5 at home.
I love that pick, Tony. I'm all over that. Now, depending on where you can get this, you can get this game coming up between 3.5 and 4. Our good friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook, they are doubting. They are doubting the Miami Hurricanes. Yes, I added an S to Sportsbook. Miami Hurricanes right now, you can get them at plus 4 against Texas A&M. I think Miami matches up well. Give me the Miami Hurricanes. Against the spread. Against the spread. Against the spread. Against the spread. Hey, give me that spread. Against the spread. I want that spread.
Good job, guys. Let's bring Juju aboard. Hello, Juju.
What's up, my brother John? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Who the hell is John?
That's me. I'm John, I guess. I'm John. Did you catch last night the Lakers? By the way, Lakers are 17-6.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, by all accounts, is a great record. And, you know,
Austin Reeves is averaging 30 points a game.
Yeah. The Lakers are really good. And LeBron last night saw 10 straight points in the fourth quarter, and he put the crown on. Put the crown on. Now, you got to be careful. You got to be careful because LeBron, you remember last year, like he told us in a moment of honesty, he's not comfortable with praise, okay? So you got to be really careful when discussing LeBron.
Yeah.
He has never been comfortable with praise.
Oh, wow.
But Juju, how about
Revelation.
LeBron last night?
Well, yeah, let's see. I don't want to heap praise where it's not wanted, so I'll just say he scored a disgusting 10 points in a row. Embarrassing. What he had, 29, 7, and 6. Luka went 31, 15, and 11. Ugh, I hate this version of LeBron, but it is fantastic.
I'll tell you what, this is a good opportunity. I have an MVP of the day.
Oh, damn.
MVP of the day.
If we're going to have a discussion about who the MVP in the NBA is right now, you better talk about Luka Doncic. The Lakers win last night in Philly, 112-108. I like that reality has settled back in where the Sixers suck. Luka Doncic, 31 points last night. Now, he didn't shoot well, but, man, he gets the free throw line a ton. And every night it's 15 rebounds, it's 11 assists. My God, Luka Doncic, you better discuss him when we're talking about the MVP.
Is he your most MVP of the day?
Well, I'm not the one who
player?
keeps track of that, all right?
No, he's tied for most with Tyrese Maxey.
Wow. Nice.
Maxey's been good.
The only 3-time MVPs of the day.
Well, and what's going to hurt Maxey's case and continue to hurt Maxey's case is the Sixers stink. Like, you can't give MVP to a guy.
Embiid's been terrible.
Oh, my. I mean, you see Embiid last night, 4 for 21.
Yikes.
It's tough, man. But it's like, to me, I said at the beginning of the year, if you're a Sixers fan, all of a sudden you have a vision of this team that does not involve Embiid. You look at Edgecombe, you look at Max, you're like, okay, that's my future. And that dude, whatever he gives us is fine. Which is, and obviously it's disappointing, but it's freeing in a way, you know?
MVP of the day.
The way this works is if you have the most MVPs of the day, that makes you the favorite for MVP on the season, right?
Yeah,
So what's a medal stand looking like right now, Jeremy?
Yeah, so right now the 3-time MVPs of the day are Tyrese Maxey and, as we just mentioned, Luka Doncic. Then you have
You say Doncic.
Doncic, I apologize. Wembanyama, you have a couple of times here, so he's a 2-time MVP of the day. And then tied with one MVP of the day. We have Aaron Gordon. We have Jaime Jaquez Jr.
I remember that game.
We have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Nikola Jokic, and, of course, Norman Powell.
Nice. So they all have one.
MVP of the day.
Yes, they all have one.
Okay, Jokic right now, according to DraftKings Sportsbook, Jokic is your leader for MVP at plus 150, SGA plus 160, Luka third.
Where's
plus
Jaquez?
270.
Go look at six man.
Keep scrolling.
We also have technically we have another vote. If we're just going off Zaz, there's only one. But Juju, every single time we do this, insists it will be Nikola Jokic. So if we want to add a second tally there, just to count all of Juju's insistence,
leader in the clubhouse.
We
right
could
now.
put him second on the medal stand.
MVP of the day.
It's a great song.
Right. Bro, can you imagine if we was out one night in the club and they dropped that on the speaker? Bro, I would lose my damn mind.
Lit.
Of the day.
That's what I'm talking about. Juju, who else stood out to you over the weekend?
Man, it was a lot going on this weekend. I just want to highlight yesterday's Bills game is what life is about. Think Mr. Megorium's Wonderful Emporium. Think Percy Jackson, Lightning Thief. Like, you get to watch that, and it happens in the snow. My goodness gracious. I thought we was going to lose 10 times. I ain't going to lie to you. But Josh Allen, Superman. But him having to be Superman should not be what we rely on. Neither here nor there. I got top 5 jokers from the weekend.
Okay,
brothers.
all right.
Yes, sir. OLI, a kid from Utah Tech got dunked on and then punched the boy who dunked on him. Like, brother.
You have to.
Okay.
I mean, I've
You
never.
gotta swing on him.
I've never been dunked on, but I think if
That's
I
a
were
lie.
dunked
That's a
on, I think I'd consider punching a guy.
I got dunked on by Amari Stoudemire, and the only thing I can compare it to is like a sonic boom. Like I literally, he never touched me, but I fell back from just the impact.
Also, Dan earlier in New York, somebody get him in that scarf a damn room. Goodness gracious. Take the scarf off, bro. You keep playing with it. It's making me mad. Number 5. Number 5, Kevin Stefanski.
Oh, my God. What was that
big
about?
Brain on this, brother, man. Right. If it goes back to the delusional Shador haters and fans. Like, brother, it was only right to just try Shador out there. If you don't like him, if you like him, let's see. Because, like Zaz said earlier, bro was kind of balling yesterday a little bit. You feel me? Like, it ain't his fault he played for the Browns, but at the same time, we would like to see that, Kev. So, yeah, man. Even Dan sometimes, how he be talking about Shador? He can't play. They got somebody who can't play quarterback. Bro can play, man. So
I mean, like Shador Sanders, he's got over 300 yards passing for the game, and with the game on the line, you know who should have to throw the ball? The running back. Weird.
Number 4, Joker of the weekend, the Indianapolis Colts for making Daniel Jones walk to the locker room.
That's
he
cold.
tore his Achilles and walked
cold.
all the way to.
He wanted to do the Kobe.
He came back out on the sideline with a boot.
Bruh. Sometimes
Warrior.
you got to save these folks from themselves, man. Like, come on, Dan. We need you next year, Danny Dimes. Number 3, Jokers of the weekend, the referees that took back that likely touchdown.
I don't think it was a touchdown.
They made it unlikely.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
He caught it, took 2 steps, and then if it was in the field of play, would that have been a fumble?
No, I don't think it's a catch.
Oh.
And you know what? Based on his reaction, too, I don't think he thought it was a catch.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So he needed what, the third step would have done it for you? Because he was taking the third step when it was getting
The best
jarred
way
out.
that I could describe it to you, Tony, is I know it when I see it. All right? And that didn't look like a catch to me.
Number 2, Jokers of the weekend, the Washington Commanders for trotting broke arm Jaden Daniels out there.
How? I said in the weekend observations, Juju, it's like, lobotomy, questionable. Like, how that guy's got a dislocated elbow? How's he playing?
Gosh, they've lost 8 in a row. I feel like all the goodwill that franchise built up last week.
You blew it.
It's gone.
Mm-hmm. And the number one Joker they about to take over because the name of the Joker of the days were the Mario Cristobal Joker of the day because of that blunder, no timeout, taking these situation. Number one, brothers, Notre Dame. How dare you? Brother, you going to pick up your ball and go play? No, we don't want to go. What about the kids at the end of the bench that's been supporting y'all all year? Give them kids a chance to play in the bowl game. Jeremiah Love ain't got to go out there. Y'all ain't got to take it as serious as y'all were going to, but give kids a chance. This is embarrassing as a school to me, in my opinion.
It's a great point. Like you're telling Jeremiah Love, who's going to go to the NFL, like you're telling Jeremiah Love, we know you thought you had one more game, but it's more important for us to be really annoyed.
Also, they get a bunch of free shit when they go to these bowl games, right? These kids, man, like all the swag.
Yeah.
I ain't getting the swag now, no backpack and new sweats.
You get paid now, though.
I can't imagine going to a bowl game in which like the big crescendo is a Pop-Tart being lowered into a toaster.
I already told you. You watch what you say about the Pop-Tart. I went last year. It was a great experience.
National title game last year. I get being
watch your
the
mouth.
energy that's like, I'm not going to go to that. I'm not going to indulge the Pop-Tart bowl.
That Pop-Tart gave its life for those kids.
I'm good with it, believe it or not.
Juju, let's get to some polls for the day.
Yes, sir. Did you know that there was an East Texas A&M? 74% of the audience says no, they didn't.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Right. How many Texas A&Ms are there? 73% of the audience says yes.
Yeah, I agree.
There's one in Qatar. That's what we learned too.
Also, listener of the day, right quick. The Stugotz Army from Twitter pulled up on my boy Zaz over the weekend. I see and gave you a Zazlo Show 2.0 hat, man.
That was awesome. He came up to our set for a college football campus tour, and he made Zazlo Show 2.0 hats, which was really awesome. I'm very
he didn't add the though, the Zazlo Show 2.0.
That's right, because he knows he knows what's up.
If two teams in your conference championship are named after a guy, do they deserve to be in? 73% of the audience says no. Is it okay to front face someone while scooching past them to get back to your seat?
It's wild.
I agree, bruh. Exactly. 65% of the audience says no, it is not, though.
Because you remove the context of they wouldn't get up.
I mean, what if the person is standing? Will you front face them?
No.
Like your deals can touch.
No. If they're standing, then I respect them. I give them the respect back. If they disrespect me by sitting, I disrespect them with one of these across the face. Wow. No hands.
Wow.
And those are your polls. And I'd like to add at the end of this, too. This college football playoff controversy, it's good for business, though. Because the moment we don't have all of this controversy, man, it's boring and it's probably uninteresting. So salute to Notre Dame, but how dare you?